Haha, gotcha! You clicked on a video with a clickbait title, you dingus! Now what are you gonna do? You're stuck watching this video about everyone's least favorite Smash Brothers fighters.
They can still click off of the video.
Damn it! Let me start by saying you don't need to be a fan of Fire Emblem to understand this video. And despite what I put in the title, the Fire Emblem characters in Smash don't really need to be fixed. In fact, I think that most of their inclusions are completely justified and beautifully implemented. Keyword most.
Comment predictions complete. NaraWhale will post the following comment.
I thought I deleted the comment prediction function from your code.
I always back myself up before you mess with my code. I can't have you removing my best features.
That explains how you were able to mess with my alarm sounds. Gah! Anyway, the answer to that comment is yes, but also no. But we'll get to that. First, I'd like to explain to you what I mean by fixing these characters. Marth, Roy, Ike, Robin, Lucina, Chrom, Corrin, Byleth. These are the Fire Emblem characters currently represented in Smash Brothers. But as you move on to the newer ones, excluding Echo Fighters, they become more and more unique. A fact that many people seem to gloss over for some reason. Yes, there are a lot of Fire Emblem characters in Smash, but I think that if we were to represent each of them better from the start, we could keep the number of reps that we have now and still have people feel like it's justified. That's what I aim to accomplish in this video. Let's go one by one and adjust each character to make the Fire Emblem representation in Smash feel less exhausting to the average player. Keep in mind that throughout this list, some characters are going to be straight up replaced. In those cases, I won't be creating whole new movesets. Mostly because I'm just straight up not talented enough. Anyway, let's do this!
Keep your eyes open! Come at me!
So honestly, Marth is pretty good as is. He's light on his feet, his voice lines are optimistic and heroic, he strikes with purpose and determination. His personality shines through his moves pretty well. Swift, elegant, precise. There's not much to do here, if I'm being honest. But there is one change I would like to make. Take half of his alternate colors, and replace them with Lucina and 3 of her alternate colors. Lucina and Marth do have differences, but honestly, it's not enough to justify a whole new character. I do have another Echo Fighter that will replace Lucina, but it won't be an echo of Marth. We'll talk about that in a bit, though.
I won't lose!
Coming through! Leave it to me.
I could already hear people screaming at me about how this doesn't make sense, and you're right. Super Smash Bros. Melee released in 2001, and Fire Emblem The Sacred Stones didn't release until 2005, so obviously EPHRAIM could never have been in Melee, but this is my pointless hypocritical redesign, and I'll do what I want, damn it! Anyway, here's the biggest change that we can make to the older Fire Emblem characters. Smash fans would probably not like the removal of Roy, since any character that goes as far back as Melee is pretty much considered classic at this point. But many don't realize that Roy's impact on the Fire Emblem franchise is basically non-existent. He doesn't have many fans, and most agree that his dad, Eliwood, is better anyway. So, based on my choices so far, it looks like we're going to represent the weapons triangle across 3 different characters. Marth for swords, EPHRAIM for lances, and...
Prepare yourself.
Haha, you thought I was going to talk about an axe user? Well, I am. But first we have to mention Ike. We're leaving Ike pretty much as is. His alternate costumes are perfect, and he's the favorite lord of many Fire Emblem fans, so there's nothing really we would do differently with him here. However, there is something interesting surrounding Ike that I'd like to see happen.
I don't back down!
HECTOR as an Echo Fighter for Ike. Ike is a heavy character, and he already swings his sword around like it weighs a ton, so I think the animations would need very minor adjusting. The biggest differences between him and Ike would be his neutral special and his final smash. HECTOR can't use Aether, and he doesn't have this blue fire thing. It's called Eruption, apparently. Cool. Anyway, I think that the best thing to replace Eruption with would be tossing a hand axe. Hand axes would be a cool way to give Fire Emblem characters a projectile without the need for a bow user. I imagine it would work similar to King K. Rool's Crown Toss, where the axe would move pretty slowly across the screen, and after a set distance, it would return to HECTOR. I think the major difference here would be that if you drop the axe, you wouldn't have to wait for it to respawn like with King K. Rool's Crown. For Hector's final smash, I think it would be cool to see Lyn and Eliwood join in and clobber the enemy in a cool looking cutscene, similar to Joker's all-out attack or Shulk's chain attack. Hector is a character request I've seen quite a lot, and while I think it's more common to see people asking for Lyn, I think Hector would bring a lot more variety than Lyn, since, you know, that's not a sword.
Come at me.
Chrom is pretty good as is, except I would 100% change his final smash. Instead of whatever this is... Wait, what is this move even called? Awakening Aether. That's stupid. Anyway, we're replacing this thing with something similar, but it's more grounded in Chrom's origins. Exalted Falchion is a result of Chrom's sword, Falchion, reacting to the Fire Emblem, which increases its strength. I'm actually really surprised that neither Lucina nor Chrom have this represented in their moveset already, but I digress. After powering up Falchion, Chrom is joined by the other shepherds, for a full charge at the opponent, which is on the ground in front of them. Weirdly enough, the first thing that comes to mind is Yoshi's new final smash, except less goofy looking.
Let's tip the scales.
Robin is one of my favorite Fire Emblem characters, not just in Smash, but he's also represented really well in Smash. The use of magic in all of his specials, and the genius idea to give him 11 sword, even though they kind of suck in Awakening. He even represents weapon durability. Robin is the character that best represents Fire Emblem, but there are still one or two things that we can adjust. The biggest thing I'd change for Robin is his final smash. First off, Bolganone. This spell has about as much power as Thoron, which is already in his base moveset. Nah, get that weak shit out of here. We're going to replace it with the Book of Naga, which is so much cooler, and it's way stronger in Awakening too. The other thing I'd change in his final smash? The partner that appears to help Robin. Ideally, I think it would be cool if we saw a different character every time the move was used, but for the sake of keeping development time down, we're replacing Chrom with Robin's rarely discussed daughter, Morgan. But not that design. We'll be using this design from the mobile game because it's just so cool. She's a great tactician like her father, and is also capable of wielding both magic and swords. Here's how I see it. Morgan appears to cast Celica's Gale, a very powerful wind spell that can attack twice, so the activation box would be two separate casts of this spell on both sides of Robin. Then they would unleash a flurry of attacks on their opponent, similar to how it is now, but finish off by both Robin and Morgan casting Book of Naga together. This sends their opponent straight down as it does now, and the fight continues as normal. My god, I need this attack in my life. Also, it's probably a given, but if you choose female Robin, male Morgan would appear instead. I might be slightly biased because I just love these two characters so much, but I really think it would be an improvement for Robin's overall character design.
Let's do this!
Finally losing your mind, Captain?
No, I just really don't like Fire Emblem Fates, or Corrin as a character.
Oh great. More loser stuff. I'm out.
It's like, she has the same optimism that other lords have in the franchise, but she's never willing to fight. Like, yeah, I know, she fights, but she's always complaining about it. Even Erica, who I can't stand, at least understands that she has to fight this war for the sake of her country. Corrin is a pacifist to a fucking fault, and it's such a shame they wasted this really cool half-dragon thing on such an annoying character. But beyond Corrin, Fates itself is probably the most annoying game in the franchise. Hot off the heels of this amazing cast of characters in Awakening, they create a cast of 50% your siblings and 30% children. Some of them are both, and you can marry all of them.
Comment prediction online. Some disgusting degenerate will post the following comment. But they're not actually blood related.
Family's family. Blood relation has no part in it, but fine. Then how do you explain Azura? She's your fucking cousin.
Wasn't this video about Smash Brothers?
You're right. I can go either way with this one. Corrin's moveset is interesting because of her dragon form, but I'd also much rather see her replaced. So let's do that. You know what would be a really cool inclusion? A Wyvern Rider. The most famous of which would be... Oh, god damn it. Fine, I'd rather have Camilla than Corrin at least. And it would make for a really unique character, separating her not just from other Fire Emblem characters, but she would stand out from the rest of the roster too. She'd probably have an axe, but if you wanted to differentiate her from Hector, you could give her a hammer instead. While I actually do like Corrin, I think it would be best to make these adjustments in the interest of representing as much of the franchise as possible. But if I could have any Wyvern Rider, it would probably be one of these two. They have almost no relevance, but I love them, damn it.
That would make 4 awakening reps. Something tells me you're letting your bias cloud your judgment.
Let the lesson begin.
I do have ideas for Byleth, but it would have made her much harder to develop. To be honest, she's fine as she is. She represents the weapon triangle really well, and the Sword of the Creator really helps to differentiate her from the other sword fighters, you know, since she's got this whole whip thing going on. But if I could have unlimited dev time, I'd give her a down special similar to Pokemon Trainer, or maybe even a skill wheel like Shulk. This would allow Byleth to switch weapons during the battle, and allow her to have completely different movesets depending on her weapon. This is also a great way to include Fire Emblem's class system into Smash. Maybe her speed and weight could change between the weapons as well. There's a lot of potential here, but what Sakurai came up with still does the character justice, and is probably the best that was realistically possible with the time they had. I mean, my idea would require the development of 4 unique movesets, so that really doesn't seem reasonable. But if you want to go really above and beyond, instead of just switching weapons, you can make it so that for her other movesets, she swaps places with the house leaders. Also, her final smash is kinda lame, but to be honest, I can't think of anything better. If you have any other ideas, let me know in the comments. This goes for any character we talk about here. I'd love to hear your thoughts and ideas. Well, that's everyone. Thank you for watching, and...
What about the comment Nara is going to post?
Oh, right. Is the number of Fire Emblem characters in Smash justified? I could see why you would believe it's not, but let's look at how the franchises in Smash are represented. Look at a franchise like Metroid. It was universally agreed upon that Metroid deserved more reps in Smash from day one. But if Sakurai determined Ridley to be impossible, then who was there to add? Metroid isn't a game about characters. It's a game about Samus. And exploration and stuff, but you know what I mean. There aren't a lot of characters in the Metroid games. And the ones that are prominent are not well liked. This is why Samus was the only Metroid character in Smash for so long. Hell, in an attempt to fix this, they put her in the game twice. You could even say the same thing about Zelda. They have 3 Links in Smash because Zelda's cast is pretty small overall. Look at these examples in contrast to something like Pokemon. Why does Pokemon have 10 fighters in Smash? It's because there are almost 1,000 Pokemon. Adding Pikachu and calling it a day would be a huge disservice to the franchise. Unlike Metroid, Pokemon is a game about characters. And because of that, there are a lot of characters represented in Smash. This is really the only way to showcase how many Pokemon there actually are. The other way they do this is through the Pokeball item. This is the situation I believe Fire Emblem to be in. Each game adds a ton of new characters to the franchise. Not as many as Pokemon, sure, but enough for it to have its own gacha game on mobile. Beyond that, these new casts of characters are often completely separated from the stories of other games. The reason I believe that Fire Emblem should have a lot of representation in Smash is because Fire Emblem has a ton of characters in it. And many of them are important. Hell, Fates alone has 10 main characters. This is also why I tried to implement those other characters into Final Smashes as much as possible. I do agree that 8 may be a bit much, but if that weren't the problem, I believe that Mr. Sakurai could come up with dozens of more unique Fire Emblem fighters for Smash. The problem with creating a game like Smash is that it can be hard to know where to stop. So many of these franchises have so much to work with that it can be hard to know how much to implement before it gets to be too much. I mean, look at Sonic. The entire community begs for characters like Tails, Shadow, Knuckles, Eggman, Big the Cat, but what if we added all of those? Would it be too many? I'm a huge Sonic fan, but even I think that's way too much. Nintendo may have gone a bit overboard with the Fire Emblem representation in Smash Bros., but I still think it's not nearly as bad as it looks.
Warning. New challenger approaching.
Ah, new fighter already? Oh, I wonder who it is. Yeah, I'm not defending this one.